House of the Dragon Season 2 has begun filming. They are currently in Spain. We're going to talk about where they are and what we think is going on in some of the scenes that are online. And we're going to do it right now on the Sundowners Club. Welcome. I'm your host, Sean. My co-host, Sterling. What's up?
Not much.
So, House of the Dragon Season 2, we were badly looking for some updated information, especially with the writer's strike, with all the series that are being delayed. But, of course, House of the Dragon Season 2, the scripts are there, and we've talked about Ryan Condal, the showrunner, being on set, but he has to be very careful because you can't really have, it's pens down, right? So you can't really have any really writing going on. So it's a delicate tightrope, but they are filming, and we've got some images. So let's get into it. Before we do, if you like our Game of Thrones content, if you like what you hear, leave a comment below, hit the like button, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel because we want to grow the content. We want to bring more Game of Thrones stuff to you. So hit that subscribe button. So let's talk about what we're seeing online. And let's first of all talk about, there's a couple of sites that are known for Game of Thrones content, and one of them is Watchers on the Wall. And Watchers on the Wall has got some screenshots, and they really have started in Caceres, Spain. And Caceres, Spain, for those that don't know, and we'll put up some images to show you what we're talking about. It's doubling as King's Landing in Season 2. And so what we've seen are some shots that look like the markets of King's Landing. And also looks like a royal procession. And as you look at some of the shots that we're going to show, they're trying to keep it somewhat under wraps what's going on in the scenes. But we can tell that there's ash that's being swept up. So who is currently bringing a dragon to King's Landing? Is it Rhaenys on Meleys? Is it Rhaenyra? So we'll leave that to the people that have either read Fire and Blood or are going to watch Season 2. We don't want to spoil that for you, but you certainly can see in some of these shots that there is ash on the ground in Caceres. You also can see some of the horses that are part of the King's Guard. And then what's interesting is there's a shot of a carriage that has blood on it, or fake blood, and it's got a big tarp over it. So there is speculation that there's a head of a dragon on that card. It's not been confirmed, but some of the scenes that you're seeing, what do you think? I mean, you looking forward to seeing a battle over King's Landing again after Game of Thrones, now that we're in House of the Dragon Season 2?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think they've done a really good job with the battles so far in that show because it started out with a pretty big budget. So I think that was one of the complaints about Game of Thrones early on was the budget was lower. So like in the first season, they skipped out on a lot of the action scenes, but they're not doing that with this, which I'm excited about it. You've read the book, so you know what's going to happen. I haven't, so to me, it's a complete surprise.
Now, one thing you have to say though, even though I've read the book Fire and Blood, it doesn't mean that they're going to follow everything exactly to the T. So there could
How
be.
have they been so far though? They've been pretty close, haven't they?
Yeah, other than the ages of the kids.
Yeah, but they changed that, because they're so young in the books, I think. But
and it wouldn't make sense to follow the book. For those diehard fans out there, you can leave a comment and tell me the exact age. But I think in the books, Aemond Targaryen and Aegon is quite a bit older than Jace and Luke. And so it would be hard to imagine the conflict if you've got like a 8 or 9 year old kid and a 17 to 18-year-old kid. So they had to, I think they closed the gap a little bit in the age of the characters on the show to make it more compelling that there'd be a rivalry.
Right.
And so there's things like that changed, but the scenes that we see in Spain, in Caceres, you see the Hightower, Allison Hightower, the Greens. You see the knights in the royal carriage, the bloody cart that we mentioned. And what I think it's going to be leading to is, the Green troops, the Hightower troops, are coming back to King's Landing after a key battle, after a battle that we'll let you determine if you read the book or watch the show. We don't want to give that away. But the scenes are that are being filmed and rehearsals, by the way, according to Watchers on the Wall. And we also want to credit Javi Barrega, who goes by the Twitter name of Heisenberg, which you gotta love that. Goes by Heisenberg, has some great shots, and so we certainly want to credit Javi and Watchers on the Wall, as well as winteriscoming.net. Those sites have some great content. But we've mentioned before, and we see on the site one of the shots, they say Ja funeral prop, and we've mentioned blood and cheese in prior videos. So this confirms that very early on we're going to see blood and cheese wreak havoc in this episode, or the first couple of episodes of season 2. And so that was shown on the site as well. So, very interesting stuff. And I think the fact that we see, ash on the streets tells us that there's going to be dragons there. They also, once they're done filming in Caceres, they're moving to Trujillo. Once they finish there, I'm sure they're going to hit other locations, but they're also filming in Leavesden. So filming's in full swing. We're seeing, again, we've mentioned the ash, so we know that there's dragon fighting that's going on, and there's a big battle that will be known as we expect to see, which will be Rook's Rest. And so there'll be some casualties there, so we don't want to give away those who haven't read the book.
How big is that compared to some of the other battles we've seen from all of Game of Thrones?
Well, it's very character driven, the battle, right? Oh. So specific individuals that are going at it with injuries and death. So in that sense, it's each of these battles you're going to see. You're going to hear the gullet mentioned. You're going to eventually hear the God's Eye. You're going to hear Rook's Rest. All these battles are significant for moving the story forward. So, the Dance of the Dragons serves to set up what we see 100+ years later when there are no dragons left.
There's not a lot of plot armor on the characters where there's this huge battle and nobody significant dies.
Oh, no, there's a lot of significant deaths. And so we're going to see, you have to see that in season 2. I mean, the sheer nature of the battles that they're going to be showing, if you've read the book, there's going to be meaningful deaths. And that's the thing about the Dance of the Dragons is there's a lot of meaningful characters that die.
Right.
And there's going to be characters that are introduced in season 2 that we've mentioned that get brought in, Hugh and Nettles and Cregan Stark, and there's so many characters that are going to be coming in to season 2, and the political machinations that come about in order to determine who wins the ultimate Dance of Dragons. And so, this is great stuff. The filming, the one thing that we've always loved about Game of Thrones that you see movies and other series don't do is the on-location shooting. Yeah. And there's more of this. I mean, 2 of the most expensive series that are on streaming are the Yellowstone world building that's been done with the Yellowstone series, 1923. It's around $22 million an episode. And then you've got House of the Dragon, which is in that range. So
I feel like Yellowstone's paying for a lot of the actors.
Well, they're paying for renting of cattle and locations, but House of the Dragon is really it's phenomenal in the location shooting, and so these are exciting photos. And again, if you guys have a chance, go check out Heisenberg on Twitter, Javi Barrega. They're great photos, keeps everybody up to date on location.
Definitely some spoilers though. So if
you got to be careful. Yeah,
if you don't want to be spoiled, don't look at it.
Yeah, they're definitely, if you read through some of it, you're going to get spoilers, and so you have to be careful. But Watchers on the Wall, winteriscoming.net, these sites keep a lot of the fans up to date. We're fans of those sites, and so we want to give credit there. From a conversation standpoint, I think that one of the things I read online was that we've mentioned in a prior video that they've reduced the number of episodes in season 2 from 10 to 8. Oh. And so, which I don't like, but the fact that you've got kids, young people that are involved in these shoots, and the sheer action of the shoots, I've read some stuff online, some information and some articles talking about maybe the dangerous nature risk involved in the shoots with some of these young actors and actresses is why the episodes were reduced. I don't really
I don't
believe
think
that.
so. I just think it's budget.
I think it's money.
That's all it
I
is.
think it's you. Are you going to cut? Are you going to reduce the budget per episode?
How dangerous is it really? I mean, you see these. Like, have you actually seen the scenes how they fly on a dragon? It's
So
basically
we've been to Ireland.
it's a green screen, and they're on this. It looks like
Yeah.
a mechanical bull.
Yeah, and
So, I mean-
we can show a clip of that when they filmed Game of Thrones. We've both been to Ireland. We've seen it's at Titanic Studios. It was a big hangar, and you could see a green screen, and they had what looked like, a mechanical bull, rodeo bull,
Oh.
and you get on this mechanical machine contraption, and it starts moving around. If you fall on a pad.
Yeah.
But probably not very fun.
I mean, they
after
do
the
have. We
first
talk
week.
about the sets, like it's beautiful. They are on location, but they do use a lot of CGI to build some of the set
surrounding
pieces.
area.
Yeah, and it looks really good, so you can't tell. But when you actually go to the sets, it doesn't look as elaborate as it would on the show. So I mean,
Yeah, so it's really good stuff. I mean, obviously they're showing quite a bit of what's going to be King's Landing, and we know from where the story's going that we're going to see Winterfell, and so what we expect to see, some more shots coming out on location, set pics around Winterfell pretty soon, and so expect to see that. We'll be here to cover it, but wanted to basically update you guys that it's exciting news. They're going to be shocking deaths. They're on location. They're filming in Spain. Beautiful set pics, and we're excited for it. Even with the writer's strike, we've got House of the Dragon season 2 progressing, and couldn't be more excited. Again, if you like our Game of Thrones content and you like our House of the Dragon content, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to see. If you want to see us go more in depth around the characters that are in George R. R. Martin's world before the events of House of the Dragon, Aegon the Conqueror, and other characters leading up to, maybe characters in the current Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire stories. So we'll be glad to cover that. And most importantly, hit the subscribe button so that we can grow our channel and TCB.